Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin from Florals.com and today I have a very fun project overview for you. This is going up a little bit later than I wanted to, but I finally got around to starting my album. So as you can probably tell, this says 30 Days of Grateful, and this is commonly done in the fall near Thanksgiving, so November, or if you wanted to do 31 Days of Grateful in October. All common projects that I've seen over the last couple of years. It's actually a great journaling project. And this is not really going to be an album as much as it is a journal. So I decided to use my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit. And if you guys haven't watched that video yet, I'll have it linked down below. But these are the cards from the Simple Stories Pumpkin Spice collection, I believe. There's more over here. I have a ton more. But like I said, I wanted to use up this collection as much as I could. I just bought the little stamp pack because it's from Simple Stories. That's where you get all the cards and little embellishments. So this is what I did with it. So I used a lot of the larger cards, and this is probably going up after September starts. So I plan on doing videotaping most of my pages, if not at least an overview at the end. But right now I'm going to do a flip through and sort of talk you through my process of how I developed the order for this mini album. I wanted to get it all in order and marked. That's what all these post-it notes are. So it'd be easier for me to work on throughout the month. So this little title card came in the kit. And I knew that it was going to be a pretty flimsy album, mainly because I wasn't going to back all of these with heavier cardstock. Some of them are glued together because I didn't like the pattern on the other side, so some of them are a little more sturdy. But yeah, so I'm going to talk about the order that I went through on picking all the cards out, what the sticky notes are for, and then how I bound it, and my process of trying to bind it, because that was a struggle. So I started off with a little title card here, and then I even have a 4x6 card behind it, so it kind of, you know, fills out the whole album. So 4x4, this one I've already decorated. It's just telling you what the album's about, and then some embellishments there. I want to keep this pretty light. I don't want it to be too heavy. And then I'll go over some embellishments that I picked out for it as well. So all of these cards are very thankful themed, fall themed, autumn themed. So another 4x4. There's always something to be thankful for. This I thought was pretty cool. This is almost like an index for the album, so I can write down something every day, and then I can go into each thing a little more in depth. So when deciding which sides to put together and when to use a small card and little card, it's sort of, I just kind of went through the pile and saw which ones went together. So I put a sticky note on every page I wanted to write something on, so I could write something on this one and then embellish this side or not do anything, you know, keeping it simple. And then some have words on them like this one, and this one says to add doily. So I didn't like the way this looked when this one's still open. So if I add a doily here, it'll cover a majority of that, and then it'll also cover this when I flip this side over. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe I should grab something to demonstrate. Okay, so pretend this is a doily, because my doilies are I'm rearranging, so things are sort of out of whack right now. So say a doily comes off here, so it'll look dainty like that. And then when you flip the page, it'll be white. It'll still look dainty, but it covers up that other stuff. So just something like that adds a lot to an album, but I made note of it when I thought of it because I don't want to forget it. So if I wrote on this whole page and then I wanted to put a doily on, there might not be room for that. So you really need to plan ahead for those sort of things. This one I'm doing 3 and 4 on. Again, I don't know what I'm going to write about every day. I could obviously fill this album in right now, but I thought it'd be fun to try to highlight something from every day of September, which again, like I said, can be done September, October, November, any month of the year. This one just happens to be fall themed, and once I saw this first card, I knew I wanted to do an album with it. And of course, you can do a real album as well, but I thought I'd give my hand a little mini album here. So then I have this one. Even though this is sideways, I didn't really mind. I kind of like it. And then when I was punching them, you'll see that some of them are kind of cut off, but still legible. So that's number 5. And then if there were busier pages, I tried to put something less busy on the other side. But I really like the word cards in this. I thought they were very sweet. So this one's number 8 and number 9, because they're both pretty plain cards. Number 10, thankful for you. So this one's probably going to be about a person, just to keep it a little bit, you know, better themed. Harvest of Memories. This one I almost didn't include. I'm hoping to put something very fall here, something very memorable here. 12. Today you gather with grateful hearts. Very cute. Again, that's very Thanksgiving themed, but that's fine. I included this Studio Calico die cut gold sheet. I thought it was really pretty and just added something completely different to this. 14. So this one's another one that I don't really love. I love the white washed wood in the background, but I want to cover up this word fall. So I put doily because doilies are my thing. These two are actually glued together. So this is two 4x4 pieces. This one had like an Instagram camera on the back, and this one had like a window on the back. I just didn't really care for either of those. And so when I cover up this word fall with a doily, it'll look better even when I close it this way. Although they do line up quite fine. If I held it like this, that would look pretty bad. These two are also glued together. Just two word phrases. I think this one says nuts about you on the back side. And I'm not sure what this one had on the back side. I would have shown you guys my process, but I did this in the other room because of my lack of AC during the heat that we're having right now. It's been really hard for me to get out here to actually film or craft. That's why I'm doing it at 6 o'clock in the morning now. So this one's actually two 3x4s glued onto a 4x6. Really great way to stretch your cards out. And again, putting two on one set of pages is okay as well. No problem in doing that. This one had a decal over here that I didn't like, so I just decided to put a 4x4 on top of it. So I can still have this cute little part where I could do journaling and then some embellishing here. 21. And I think I might try to include some photos, like just leftover photos that I have lying around, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me know what you guys, if you guys have done one of these albums, let me know in the comments down below if you included photos or not. I don't have an at-home printer, so I know I have like random photos laying around of like my cats and stuff, and I know I'll be writing about them. So I might try to include some if they look nice, maybe, and if they're small enough. I have a family recipe section. I thought that would be fun to try to do something with. We do a lot of cooking and baking during the fall season since it starts getting cooler out. These are actually 4 2x2 squares that I glued onto the back of this 4x4. I don't remember what was on the back, but it must have been ugly or it didn't match this version. So this is a giant journaling card. And then here there were great little prompts in here. So this one says, much to be thankful for. It actually said so much to be thankful for, but I had to put an eyelet in, so there goes that. So this is like 5 little things for one day. And I don't know if I plan on putting the dates on all these. I think it's pretty obvious what days what, but I think if I just write like 25 and then write something, instead of saying the 25th of September, something like that. So this is another one that I had difficulty with. Right now it has washi tape on it, but I don't think I'm going to keep that there. This is 2 3x4 cards and 2 3x4 cards, which would have been fine if I hadn't glued these pairs together. So I glued these two together and then these two together. I should have put something in between them, but that would have made for a really thick page. So right now they're kind of wobbly. We'll have to see what we can do about that. If I embellish this side across the middle, it'll probably look fine. And then another 4x4. And then a 3x4, and I really like the variation in page size. This is 2 3x4s on a 4x6, and then I just put a 3x4 over it because I thought it was it was too much color, so I put this neutral in between. And then number 30 is just a very light newsprint pattern, and then the back I wanted to be very colorful so it didn't get damaged as easily. So that's my album. It's pretty. It's not clean and professional, it's a homemade album. You can kind of tell, but it looks cute. I didn't know what I was going to do for the binding at first, so I did find enough eyelets in my stash, so I used like 30 eyelets for this project, which that's great. Originally I was going to do a binder ring. I bought these at the dollar store for mini albums, but I had so many pages with eyelets in the same exact spot, it caused it to fan out. Like if I did this, pretend it's like a shorter string, it fans out like this, which is cool if you're like doing a Rolodex or something, but not really for this. So right now it's just tied together with some orange and white twine, which works fine. It opens fine. It functions just fine as long as it's tied loosely, not too tight. And I did think about doing a double eyelet system, so like having 2, so it flipped nicer, but with all of the words on some of these pages, this one would be fine. This one might be a problem, it might just get punched off. But that's just something I went through. This one would definitely get punched off. So if you guys have any binding ideas, let me know. I can always change it up. I also have a bunch of leftover cards. So these are all, I think these are all the ones from the Simple Stories collection. This one's not. So these are all the ones I have left. This one's also not. I have one 4x4, a crap ton of 3x4s, which I might still use in the album. It just depends on what I'm going to write, if I need an actual journaling spot. Some of these have beautiful patterns still on them, so. But if I had something themed, like if I had something about flowers, I could cut this out and use it as ephemera instead. And then I have a bunch of 2x2s, which I do plan on using for embellishing in this little album. A lot of great pieces I could cut apart. Sweater weather could be one of the things I'm grateful for, etc. Pumpkins, caramel apples, birdhouses, birds, acorns. So I'm really happy with using up a bunch of stuff to start. So I'm really excited about that. Over here I have a bunch of other stuff. Another thing I wanted to mention about making this album is Post-its. I did not, so the way I planned it was I pulled out this one because I knew I wanted it to be my first one. I then realized this was 4x4 and I wanted a 4x6 album. Then I picked out a 4x6 card to go behind it that would relatively match the front. I didn't want something that was, you know, writing over here. That'd be too much. So then I wanted to also make sure it went with the back side. And then once those two were settled, I picked those two. I make sure I like this side. If I didn't like this side, I find something to paste to it. And then I find something that matches it. And they just keep going, finding something that matches it. And like I mentioned before, I'm going to put a doily on this side, which I think I removed the sticky note, but I want to put a doily on this side so it covers these extra numbers. And yeah, and then I put a 1. Of course, this could change. There's definitely room for more writing. Some journaling blocks have a lot more room than others, and I did that on purpose because I wanted a various album. So as you can see, it goes from like large to medium to small to medium to large again. So putting in those large ones every so often is very helpful to keep your album intact, keeping it pretty stable. But I have found that if people have albums where there's different page sizes, they often accidentally skip stuff. So it'll be like this, and then someone will just grab the outside one and flip it. I think that's just something from an outsider's like perspective that they don't really get, but that's okay. Slowly but surely we'll get it. And I might make some interactive pages. I included some pockets in my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit. So if I have something a little more personal, maybe I'll include it in a pocket instead. I have a thinner pocket as well, this little craft one from We Are Memory Keepers. So including things like that, and then including paper clips and things that can stick out, because this is a very dimensional album. I'm just really excited to get working on it. But when you're using sticky notes, I like to try to use less. Less is more. So when just writing down my numbers, I just tore off a little strip. So I have a piece of the sticky and then a tab out, so I don't miss any of the days as I'm going along. But love sticky notes. I'm addicted to them. So let's go over some of the other embellishments I've picked out. I'm not going to go in depth because they all are in my How to Kill a Kit with Style video. So I have all these extra cards from my stash. That's not supposed to be here. I picked out these tiny word stickers in case I want to put a title on instead of handwriting it. I picked out a bunch of leaves. These are just the hand punched ones from my scrap papers. These are great for things you want to keep dimension down on. These are the puffy dots. So there's 2 different shades of brown left, and I'd love to finish them off on this album. I already used one of the teal ones that was left on this first page, so that's great. And like I mentioned before, I plan on filming the pages as I work on them, but if I find that there's not a lot to film, like if I'm just writing one day, it's not as fun to watch, so I'll probably just film a flip through at the end of September, and it'll probably go up in October, just so you guys are aware. If you guys are doing this project, let me know. I'd love to know if you guys are doing it, even if it's for a different month. I know that you can do it any time of year, so it doesn't really matter. I have all these word pieces, Jelly Bean Soup. This one's Simple Stories. These ones are Pretty Little Studio. More Pretty Little Studio. This is Bella Boulevard. Ellie Studio. Then I also have the ephemera from the Snap card pack. So I have a bunch of little pieces that are super fall. These are by K & Company. I just thought these numbers might be fun to use. And I also picked out these numbers by Pink Paisley C'est La Vie. They're the acetate ones. And this is another die cut from that snap pack. Some more Ellie Studio, some Doodlebug. But I'm going to put these in a little baggie once I find one and make sure that they're staying with this. There's going to be minimal embellishing, which is, I guess, sort of my style. I don't do a ton of embellishing, so I'm really happy to be getting rid of some of these die cuts and getting rid of some of these cards. We're off to a great start for How to Kill a Kit with Style this month. I have high expectations this month, the month of September, for general crafting and stuff. I just want to dive in and get creative and redo my craft space like I'm doing in my craft room cleanup series. If you guys haven't checked that out, I'll have that link down below. And if I always say I'm going to link something down below and I forget, don't forget to remind me. I often link a lot of things down below, and I know a couple people have told me in the past when I forget, but if I forget and then you guys wanted to see it and then I forgot about it, I'd feel so bad. So always ask questions in the comments down below. I answer every comment I get. Because I love you guys and you guys are awesome, and I can't believe there's 2,000 of you. Like, that's just crazy. But that's my 30 Days of Grateful project overview. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have questions about it, let me know. I haven't seen, so this time of year I feel like a lot of people get caught up in thinking about December daily, and I think National Card Making Day is in October, so like that takes up a lot of time. And there's another one. Oh, 30 Days of List is coming up. Similar project, just a little bit different. And I think we often forget to do this sort of thing, so I thought this would be fun. And if you guys are going to try it out, let me know. This set is no longer available unless I can find it online. It's super old. I don't even have the packaging anymore. But if I can find it, I'll let you guys know, because it's perfect for this type of project. But that's it for today again, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!